Today on Monkey Life, Alison receives footage of an abandoned pet Tamarin monkey rescued by the RSPCA and in need of a home.
That's just very sad and tragic.
Bruce the loris is ready for his close-up as the team check for positive results from his recent Botox session.
So we have managed to get a fairly good shot, I think, so we'll have a look at it and review it and see if it's good enough.
And golden-cheeked gibbons Kim and Tien cuddle up in a new hideaway. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
Hopefully she'll walk in as well as he did, so this would be fantastic. Fingers crossed.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 24 different species. It's Friday afternoon, and Alison's just finishing up a phone call with an RSPCA officer from Wales who she's worked with before.
We'll go from there. All right, I hope it goes well. Thank you. Oh, okay.
It's disturbing news. The animal welfare officer has been alerted by a local landlord whose tenant has moved out, leaving behind what he thinks is a red-bellied tamarin. The tenant has left no instructions and has effectively abandoned the tiny primate.
If that's the case, of course, this is a big concern. You know, the tamarin requires specialist care, companionship, an indoor and outdoor enclosure, and it sounds like everything is wrong with this individual, so I'm quite concerned, but I can have a look at some of the images now just to see.
The RSPCA officer has sent Alison photographs and some phone video of the monkey.
And it is a red-bellied or white-lipped tamarin in what appears to be a cage inside of a bedroom. So that's just crazy. There's an empty, filthy food bowl, a water bottle that's almost empty, and then one that's completely empty. And that's just very sad and tragic.
Alison can't ignore a primate in such desperate need. She's agreed to take the tamarin until the authorities come to a decision about its future.
We've got marmosets racked and stacked here at the park from the British pet trade, and even throughout the last year and lockdowns and so on, I still have emergency rescues coming in. We'll definitely find some place to put him or her. At least we can get the tamarin here to the park, feed it properly, look after it and assess it and get the vets in to do a health check on it. But it's awful.
The small monkey team has been alerted, and it's all hands on deck to prepare a temporary home for the tamarin.
We've got the end bedrooms at the domestic marmoset house, which have served as a bit of a welcome rooms for quite a few newbies over the last sort of few months. We've had capuchins in here, you know, we've had lemur in here, we've had a lot of different bits and pieces, so we're currently, refurbing them and making them tamarin friendly.
The red-bellied tamarin, a native of the Amazon rainforest, will be an unfamiliar addition to the small monkeys already at the park.
So the tamarin we're getting in is actually a species we don't currently have at the park. We've got the pair of cotton tops is what we have at the moment, Uncas and Mo. We rarely get pet trade tamarins. So it'll be interesting to see if we can dig into where exactly she's come from, who's sold her, who's breeding them, and try and find out a bit more about her.
The team have a very tight window to get everything ready. Alison has just received confirmation from the RSPCA. The tamarin will arrive tomorrow. Over the last few months, a new house for Enzo's group of woolly monkeys has been taking shape. It's now nearing completion. With the troop outside enjoying breakfast and a little early morning fun, Alison and the woolly monkey team are going over some last-minute details. They want to ensure everything is just right.
I'm happy with those dangling down because people can then jump and grab.
Yeah.
The park has cared for woolly monkeys for almost 30 years.
Enzo, come up here.
Honing and developing their care and understanding of this complex species. The new house is a result of all that experience and a great improvement on their current residence.
The house that they have is one of the original houses at the park when we first opened 34 years ago. So, I mean, it's been refurbished over the years, but the fact is that it's small. And what we know about our woolly monkeys, and perhaps why we're the sole survivors keeping woolly monkeys in the zoological world in captivity, is that they suffer really badly from hypertension or high blood pressure. And that's a result of stress and social stress. So trying to get 4 feisty ladies all living together in quite a confined area, and one young but adult male who's not the most experienced leader. We've been having problems with them with high stress, and I'm hoping that this will resolve the majority of the social stress and issues when the ladies start swinging their handbags. And it's just beautiful. It feels really nice in here.
The new house won't just be a boost for the residents, but for the care team too. They've had a fraught few weeks following a medical emergency when 6-year-old woolly Oriana underwent a high-risk caesarean section to deliver her baby. The infant didn't survive, and Oriana's life also hung in the balance. But now, thanks to the dedication of her carers and the vet team, she's on the road to a full recovery.
We obviously are very relieved. No one ever wants to lose one of the animals that they care for. We were worried for Oriana because this was her first pregnancy, and she is a young female. So, we were very concerned that, of losing her. We did have the very sad outcome that we weren't able to save her baby. But thankfully, she's been on the up and up since her surgery, and she's doing really well. Which, she's a very strong little monkey, and we're very lucky to still have her because we were very worried about her.
And there could be some additional news about another of the group's females, Isla.
We have our suspicions that she could be pregnant. We're seeing a few things like her belly's getting a little bit larger, she's looking a little bit greasy, and we are noticing that she's starting to drink a little bit more, which is a sign that they're, especially towards the later stages of pregnancy, their water intake does increase. And so because of these, we're just keeping a close eye on her, making sure that she is comfortable and everything's okay, and how she's doing in the group, and making sure she's getting enough food if she does have, a baby on board as well. And here she is here, wondering what's going on.
Isla's given birth twice before, but rejected both of the babies. Although not 100% convinced she's pregnant, the team will keep a very close eye on her in the coming weeks. As for the rest of the group, especially the younger members, they love life in the large outdoor enclosure. And in a few days' time, they'll be able to experience their spacious new indoor enclosure too, when they move into their new home. It's been a week since Bruce, the slow loris, underwent an unusual surgical procedure. He was given a Botox injection to try to reduce a large swelling on the side of his face, caused by an enlarged salivary gland. The hope was it would paralyse part of the gland and stop it filling with fluid. The team are anxious to see if it's had any effect.
The vets reckoned that it would take a few days before we saw any difference, if indeed we would. And, it's sort of over a few days when you see it every day. Is it smaller? Is it better? You're not sure. So what we want to do is actually take a good photograph so that we can compare it to the photographs that we took last week, so that we can have a really objective look at it and say, yes, it's bigger, yes, it's smaller, or no, it's the same. So that's what we're trying to do, is to try and get a really good look at it, a proper image that we can compare.
There's just one problem. Lorises are nocturnal.
Of all the primates in the park, these guys are the only ones that live completely at night, and that's where their activity peaks. So we have to replicate that by working in the dark, which is fine. We use red lights, which the loris can't see. But it makes other things that we do with the other primates, like taking photographs, examining them, that much harder when you're doing it in the dark. Asking them to wake up in the daylight is you know, sometimes they'll wake up early, but it's unusual. So that makes things just harder.
It means Nick and Saffron have to wait until 10 o'clock in the morning, when the red lights come on in the Loris house, a signal for Bruce to wake up. But Lorises like to do things in their own time.
We're just waiting for Bruce to come down to the forage basket where we've put some insects. Like everything with the Loris, it is a waiting game. They can be pretty quick when they want to be, but more often than not, they live up to their name and they do everything very slowly.
To get a decent picture, Nick and Saffron need to get close up. Nick has an additional headlamp to help.
Yeah, I'm happy with the photos that I got.
So we have managed to get a fairly good shot, I think. So we'll have a look and review it and see if it's good enough. If not, we'll try again later.
Saffron has also shot a short video on her phone, giving a clear view of the lump.
But no, I'm not convinced we've got any real difference.
Not yet.
Not yet, unfortunately. That's the picture of him on the table.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, you can see
quite
there was
clearly,
the scab
yeah.
just here. But on our images that we've just taken, I do feel that we're potentially a little bit better.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of a gap there or something, isn't there?
No, it does look like it. Maybe more Botox, so we'll send that over to the vet to review and see what they decide.
OK, great.
Not the results they were hoping for just yet.
We haven't quite seen the such a excessive reduction that we were hoping with regards to the swelling. It is still very prominent, it is still very much there, but we are maybe seeing just a very gradual decrease.
Bruce may need a second Botox procedure. The team will keep monitoring him for any changes before deciding whether to continue with the treatment. Insects and grubs play a really important part in the diet of many of the park's residents. In the wild, most primates hunt out termites, ants, and other insects. Today, two troops are in for a creepy, crawly bonanza. Alison has received a donation of hissing cockroaches.
Lots of little tiny runners, lots of huge ones that when you touch them, they hiss at you, they cling to you. They're just awful. I think it might be interesting to see all of our big tough guys like Gordon and Amy and the bachelor chimps, all of them that are so full of bravado. Let's see how tough they are when they confront Madagascan cockroach, because these guys, look at that. It's just gnarly.
The three orangutans in Gordon's group will get theirs in a sealed tub in their playroom, courtesy of Jeremy.
Come here, get on there. It's enrichment, behavioural enrichment. For me and you lot, they couldn't give a damn.
While over at the Bachelor Chimps, primate care team member Sean has a similar plan.
I think seeing this, they are going to be absolute crybabies over it, but then you'll have some of the little tougher guys like Seamus and Sammy. I think they'll love these, to be honest, but we'll see how it goes.
Jeremy opens up the playroom for the orangutans. First to investigate is the park's largest primate, 100-kilogram Gordon. He takes a good long look from a distance. A quick display to demonstrate how big and strong he is, and he skedaddles. He's not going anywhere near the cockroaches. At the Bachelors, the excited group have been let back into their playroom. They quickly gather around the tub of cockroaches. But before anyone can examine it further, Gypsy takes command and carries it off back to the bedrooms, leaving the others scratching their heads. At the orangutans, with alpha male Gordon keeping well clear of the cockroaches, his mum Amy shows she's braver and a whole lot more curious. She lifts the lid and takes a good look, but that's as far as she goes. Perhaps the hissing puts her off. She's not inclined to reach inside and grab one of the cockroaches. Back at the Bachelors, Pandora's box has been opened and the cockroaches are on the loose. Keeper Sean attempts to demonstrate the bugs are harmless, but the chimps aren't convinced. Sammy puts himself in charge of pest control, opting to play with the critter rather than eat it. It's not quite what Alison had in mind. And with none of the primates keen on the creepy crawly menu, it's left to the primate care team to catch them. The variety of species and group dynamics at the park makes a one-size-fits-all approach impossible. This means each enclosure has to be adapted to work for the individuals living there. It's an important part of the primates' general health and well-being. And it certainly keeps the maintenance team and the care staff on the go, as they constantly change things round to ensure life is interesting and fun for all the residents.
For all of the primates here, life in the wild is varied, and there's a never-ending stream of things that are keeping them on their toes, keeping them not necessarily amused. It can be things that are negative as well. It can be things that are happening to them that they have to react to, and that's all part of a natural lifestyle. In their outside enclosures, they're big, planted, quite naturalistic enclosures. They have rain, sun, lightning, thunder, other animals that they can hear in nearby enclosures, or wild animals like the deer coming near to them. So they're experiencing a lot when they're outside. But we really want to try and make the environment a bit more enriching and a bit more stimulating for them. So there's a massive variety of enrichment that we do here at the park.
For the park's gibbons, it's all about making life in the trees as accessible and interesting as possible. A fun idea to engage golden-cheeked pair Kim and Tien has been in the air for the last few days, and today it's coming to fruition. A friend of the park has donated a large hot air balloon basket, and specialist climbers are busy installing it high up in the tree canopy in their enclosure. It could make a perfect shelter, or perhaps somewhere the couple can relax. It needs to be securely tethered first, but with no balloon attached, once installed, it should stay put. As soon as the slide is opened, the pair dash outside, curious to see what's landed in their enclosure. The substantial basket grabs their attention straight away, but they're not sure what to make of it. Kim has never seen one before. Tien, however, may retain memories of something similar from when he was living with his parents, Peanut and Pung Yo, in their outside space. He checks out the basket from all angles to make sure it's harmless. Female Kim keeps a safe distance, leaving her partner to assess the situation. It doesn't take long for Tien to realise the basket doesn't pose a threat and actually makes a great chill-out zone. Gibbons are arboreal, meaning they spend all of their lives in the trees, eating, sleeping and socialising. The basket makes a perfect and comfortable hangout. It'll come in handy as a shelter too, should the weather change. Tien is taking full advantage of the space, and his relaxed approach eventually entices Kim to check it out too. A reassuring cuddle, and the loved-up pair will enjoy the basket for years. It's late in the evening, and an RSPCA officer has just arrived at the park with a red-bellied tamarin, abandoned at a home in Wales.
Here we are.
Oh, wow. Okay.
First impressions of the small primate aren't good.
Sweetheart. Yeah, beautiful, aren't you?
Don't know if it's male or female yet. There's an injury potentially on the left foot, so we'll have to have a look at that. Really concerned about what her nutrition was. The environment was appalling. A bit concerned about how her guts and her stomach and her digestion is, but let's get her over to the house right now.
The team want to settle the Tamarin into its new home as quickly as possible. They've prepared a bedroom at the marmoset complex, where they'll be able to observe and assess the animal over the next few hours. He or she will need time to acclimatise to the new surroundings, and a lot of noisy neighbours. Steph takes the opportunity to weigh the Tamarin before offering it some tasty waxworms to eat.
Look at that. Feed
Oh
me.
my goodness.
Hungry.
Tasty. Oh, good girl.
She's starving.
Yeah.
She looks ravenous. Her behaviour is very clear that she hasn't been fed properly. I mean, she doesn't look scrawny, although the legs and the tail do, but she's sort of bloated. But that might be a sign that she's eaten too much of this dry prep diet in an inappropriate way and is now sort of bloated. It'll be interesting to see what she's like in the coming days.
Steph moves the Tamarin into the prepared temporary bedroom.
Fingers, thank you. Hi, do you want to come out? You'll be okay.
The small monkey is relaxed and confident enough to explore, even with Steph still in the bedroom. She's not sure of its sex, so takes a good look.
Yeah, she's female.
Steph shares Alison's concerns.
She's interesting looking. She looks quite ratty. She's got missing bits of fur here, there and everywhere. Nails look overly long, particularly on her feet. Looks to be a girl. Yeah, had a pretty good look, and yeah, it looks like we have got a female. A very strange stomach. She's quite big and swollen and built a bit oddly. Whether that's just bad diet, bad nutrition. But she's moving around okay, a little bit of bunny hopping, so some indication of rickets. She's just immediately taken D3 in some waxworms, which will help. But she's navigating the enclosure quite well, and she loves waxworms. What's this?
Ooh.
What's that? Wanna come and see?
As a good night treat, Steph offers the tiny Tamarin a juicy locust.
Hi. Oh my goodness, yep.
Oh, crunch.
Straight into the head.
The team will keep a close eye on the new arrival over the coming days and monitor her health and diet before deciding her future. Next time on Monkey Life. Fears for chimp Gypsy as he undergoes a series of tests following a bout of poor health.
Spleen, that looks grossly abnormal to me, and I would worry about some sort of growth or changes there.
And sunflower stalks prove an electrifying experience for alpha male Bart.